Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Kill la Kill vlog. Sorry, it's been a while. Medical issues and so forth, taken care of with doctors and various things. Anyway, this is the second episode. Kind of scared I had to think about that. Anyway, I am really enjoying this series thus far. Uh, I'm really starting to enjoy the animation employed. In this episode, it turns into a sadistic version of Pat and Mike. And if you don't know what Pat and Mike is, it's an old tennis movie. I like that they directly begin where the last episode leaves off, uh, and it starts off with Biko God, the great, huge. She's like on the bow of the ship, like Minas Tirith, from Lord of the Rings, just big golden light as she speaks to her students, i.e., subjects, which is a great analogy for high school. Uh, and we learn in this episode that she's basically a god. So it's very appropriate they do that. So she's Biko God, Miss Satsuki, if I remember right. And from the opening, gets the feeling that there's going to be this elite four to get to her. Defeat this one who has this theme, defeat this one who has this theme, and so on until they get to the final one, which is her. Uh, Anyway, Ryoku, after fighting the boxing guy, has to retreat because the suit is low on blood and she's low on energy and she's gonna pass out. So she manages to escape, and she's discovered by children, and they all go, "Oh, that nigga chick is in the alleyway." These kids are really scary sometimes. And so she gets taken to Mako's house. Mako, I'm just gonna call her Siko because that's who she is. She's just way more engaging and way more eccentric. And we meet her family. Ryoku meets her father with him standing over. She just wakes up to this fat sweaty guy going over him over her. And she beats him back, and then in pink, the message across him as he's lying there says "Hente." But he turns out to be a doctor, and he healed her. And then we meet what I think is going to be my favorite character in this show. Is We don't see her very often, very much in this episode, but I think I'm really gonna like this character. Mako's mom, who is like a cross between Bulma's mom and Ash's mom, from Pokemon. And she's very sweet, very kind, has the constantly closed eyes, and uh, very casual about her husband getting beaten to death, which implies that she might just do this exact same thing. I really like her. Oh, memory problems. Remember, use your memory cortex. This is not 51st Dates. There's nothing wrong there. Come on. Uh, anyway, I sincere with the suit that she wears, the sailor uniform, which of course it's always a sailor uniform. Uh, that she wears, that Ryoku wears, the black one with the one eye. I cannot believe at any point someone who was coming up with that concept did not watch Little Shop of Horrors and read Spider-Man comics from the Venom arc. And because some people have tried to convince me, no, it's completely original. Or bullshit, it's original. It's the Audrey 2 symbiote. That's what it is. It feeds on blood. It merges. It enhances power. It has its own personality. It doesn't know where it's from. Secret Wars, anyone? Uh, if it spontaneously reproduces and creates a red offspring, I'm just gonna say it's the greatest Venom homage of all time. And I'm not saying that it's being a ripoff. It's just something because after I saw Spider-Man 3, I kept thinking to myself, wow, that was the shittiest version of Venom. And here in an anime about about what she does to the enemies is destroy their Goku uniforms, their super suits, and which means basically it's like those who hunt elves. If anyone out there if anyone out there remembers that, those who hunt elves is where they have to strip and find a tattoo. In this case, she rips them off to depower them, and she's collecting little red strands, which I imagine are going to complete her uniform. So maybe at the end she'll finally have only her midriff showing, uh, and maybe some underwear. That would help. Unless this is like Ultimate Girls, where the more embarrassed she is, the more powerful she becomes. I hope not. Uh, so what else? Thinking, buffering, rendering in my head. Uh, yeah, this also has such a strong Fooly Cooly aspect to it, visually at least. Uh, this is I'm starting to get the feeling that this is trying to be the sequel to Fooly Cooly that never was. Just throw some Sailor Moon, some Borderlands. You know, take Project Daco and just slam it on top of each other like a still frame, like a clip art of it. Compress that all together, laminate it with a great big iron from Fooly Cooly, and there you go. There you go. You have Kill a Kill, and I really appreciate that. It seems very aware of what it's emulating because it's doing it so well. But it doesn't come off as a ripoff. It more comes off as a release of that whole era. Fully Cooley, Project Echo, all those different eras in anime just sort of coming together naturally and releasing the uh, the essence and spirit of those shows together. And anyway, in this episode, she fights whom I can only describe as the Princess of Tennis. Uh, and apparently, in this version of Destroyed Japan. I'm just going to call it Destroyed Japan number 5163892, serial number endless. Uh, Tennis is apparently a military game, because the balls shoot forward and they try and kill each other with the tennis balls. Which, tennis is fairly lethal to watch at least. Uh, all of you out there who like tennis are going, you son of a bitch. We like tennis. Oh my. I just this great. The Princess of Tennis lady, I forgot what her name is already. The captain of the princess of the tennis club has this spiked tennis racket with the same really cool moving line effect in it, and and Ryoku has to play by the rules of tennis in order to defeat her opponent, instead of just slicing her in half or just going up and slicing her to ribbons. Because if they weren't playing by the rules of tennis, I'm fairly certain that there is no chance in hell this lady would have a chance against Ryoku. Ryoku, Ryo, Ryuku, You just change one vowel in a very popular anime character's name, and it throws you for a loop. Uh, oh my. Oh, this is falling apart. Get back on track. What happened in the episode? Okay. So she at first confronts her, trying to save Mako Zico from being pummeled to death as punishment for missing her tennis match or missing her appointment with the tennis club for being kidnapped. Classic good parenting going on. Well, not parenting, but and the suit won't activate because it's dried up of all of its blood. You know, feed me Seymour. I'm gonna make that joke throughout every one of these vlogs, aren't I? Uh, Such an idiot. Uh, and anyway, she gets it was a really Kung Fu Panda 2 moment where she gets picked up by the person who's on her side, but is also in the midst of the enemy's council, sort of thing, like the fortune teller from Kung Fu Panda 2. Uh, and he tells her that he says, "Hey, this thing that drinks blood, hey, it needs blood." And so he takes some of her blood while she's paralyzed, completely naked in a towel. Uh, and squirts some of her blood onto the uniform, and suddenly it reactivates everything. It's got this voice, and the suit was created by her father, as we learn, who was killed. Who kind of reminds me of, visually from what they show, kind of reminds me of Doctor Light, but a Doctor Light mixed with that guy from oh God, I'm completely blanking out. Oh, you ever have that moment where you got a picture in your head, but you can't associate any words or names with it? Oh, uh, mm, yeah, screw it. Uh, I'll look him up and I'll mention it in the next vlog. Anyway, he's got a rat on his shoulder and everything. I think you all know what I'm talking about. If you saw the picture, I think you get the same impression. Uh, Anyway, the suit was built by her father. I don't think the suit was completed because their father must have been so perverted that it only comes up to here, like I mentioned last time on her, and no, a thong would look at that and go, "For God's sakes," sort of thing. For That's not underwear. I'm just saying that is a strap made for function, not for anything else. Uh, And apparently the suit produces steam effect. So sort of a steampunk symbiote Audrey 2 thing going. And but she sucks at tennis. She goes back to fight once the suit is reactivated, and he gives her this glove, this incredibly Go Naga-esque glove to put on her hand, and she pulls this thing, which I imagine it's this glove to feed her suit, right? It's like connected to her suit or something. And she pulls this thing and she pulls it around. It's like she's slitting her wrist. What else could it be? She is slitting her wrist open to oh, that makes my skin crawl. Gore, blood, all this stuff, people getting sliced in half. I can tolerate that, seeing that. But just those tiny little cuts, like across, like that. Oh, ugh, I can't stand that. I don't think many people can. Sorry, I belched. So anyway, she's playing tennis without any success because this lady has this giant. It's like that dream nightmare sequence from Pat and Mike. Look it up, Pat and Mike. I can't remember the year, but it's a black and white film. I think 1950s. I don't know. It might be 60s. Uh, where her racket in this nightmare in that film that her racket is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The other lady's racket is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's really and it really has that thing going on with this. The enemy girl, the princess of tennis, has this gigantic spike racket, and it just wham, 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 embedding a rubber ball into concrete, that kind of thing. I love the tennis arena. It's filled with spikes of doom and death and annihilation. It kind of reminds me of the metal themed Pokemon arena from, it might be the seventh season of Pokemon, whichever league that was. I can't list them by season in Pokemon. I need to go by league. Uh, anyway, she just says screw it. She says screw. Her racket breaks, and she says screw it, and asks Mako to throw her scissor thing. She turns it around, uses the empty scissor part, ties some stuff from her uniform around it, and makes a racket from it. And then she finally kicks her ass. And this ref guy, whatever he is, like the second in command or something of the whole thing, uh, comes down and says, "You've broken the rules and all this stuff. Oh, you're gonna get your ass handed to you in the rules, and shame and humiliation, sort of thing." And but then Lord God Biko comes from upon high, shining with her big golden light, which I guess she just carries behind her all the time. That says, "No, no, it is fine. She has won this victory. Let her have it." Oh, anyone who likes that character is gonna hate me now. But that's how it feels, you know. She's just this goddess among. She's like this high school goddess, cheerleader, class president. She's basically the hyper bitch of high school, all rolled into one. Uh, High school rules the world in this affair. Because whatever your status in high school is in this world, that's your status in real life. You know, I love that. I love that. That's how. I didn't actually go to high school myself, but I imagine from what my brother told me what it was like. That is probably how most high schoolers feel. You know, like bring the high school version of the Communist Manifesto in, please. Uh, and she wants to fight her, but the suit informs her, "Hey, you only got 2 minutes before you pass out. Wow, thanks for the heads up." So she gets the 1 minute like a dinging bell, maybe. And she has to retreat every time she defeats an enemy. You know what? Maybe she could store up some blood in like containers, like gas cans, some jerry cans filled with her own blood, and just carry those with her, and then fuel the suit that way. Uh, but no, 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 they can't do that. Otherwise, they can't reuse that piece of animation, you know. Because this is, I love how it's satirizing magical girls. It's satirizing magical girl shows, uh, doing doing the whole thing. Uh, well, gee, no shit, really. It's satirizing schoolgirl uniform magical girl stuff. Yeah, it is. I didn't even notice that until this episode. Oh, really, you little shit. Oh, wow, amazing. Uh, oh my God, it's almost 20 minutes on this video. Anyway, so they try and fight, but now it seems like the next episode is going to be about uh, Goddess Biko fighting her. Oh no, she said they're gonna fight with a sumo. There's a sumo one of these people. That's kind of disturbing. You know, just someone in a big I forget the actual term for it. The sumo wrestlers the not diaper but the thingy. Someone tell me what that's called because I'm completely blinking it out. She collects anyway. I really am interested to know just if, as she collects those threads, it adds to her power. Does she get those powers of the people she's defeated? Is it like a Mega Man situation? Uh, it's really pulling me in the show. I just need to be careful when I watch it because if I'm not in the right mindset, I'll just get sucked into it, and at the end of the episode, I'll just be going without thinking. Uh, Stupid desk. Ah. Uh, and one final thing before I sign off here. I want the soundtrack for this show. I really want the soundtrack for this show. If it's available online, like on iTunes or Amazon, people let me know because I typed it in, but nothing came up. So if I have to go to a different store or a different region to find it, maybe the Japanese Amazon. Because believe it or not, you can get stuff delivered to Ecuador from Japan, but not from the United States. I have no idea why. I think it has to do with the trade system they have here. From Japan to China to here. All right. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to seeing the rest of the series. If you guys have any thoughts on this episode that you want to share, please do so in the comments. I want to have a conversation. Please have a conversation with me in the comments down below on this. I'm sorry, I keep cutting my eyes to me. I'm so pretty. Look at me. I'm being pretty. Look at my hair. I'm gonna get a haircut later on. So if you see me looking like this, don't be surprised. Ugh, I look creepy that way. Anyway, I'll see you next episode. You take care. The video is still going on. Won't you dance? Dun 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 dun.